Hi, my name is Linnea Justin, and this is my introductory video. So, what I learned from the statement article kind of confirmed some ideas I already had. So, when I went to elementary school, and I'm sure when you all went to elementary school, social studies was a lot of learning and memorizing facts about the past. But what I've kind of seen in my clinicals and things like that is more of a shift toward like present day, if that makes sense, and like the community around them now. Obviously, they're still learning about like the pilgrims and things like that, but a lot of it, in my opinion, has seemed to be more of like how it can affect their daily lives / what should we learn from this in history. So that's kind of what I've learned from the article. There were a few quotes in there that I set aside, so let me just find it really fast. So one quote from the article said, "At every grade level, teachers should capitalize on the diversity and natural interest of their students in the world around them." I think that's really important in social studies and something I've also seen in my clinicals lately, building upon what students are already interested in social studies, and kind of making that the focus instead of, okay, this unit, like I said, is pilgrims. This unit, we're going to talk about the Louisiana Purchase, so on and so forth. So it seems like, and should be, where social studies is being used more for the students' interest and about the community and cultures and around them and how they work or don't work and things like that. So after reading the statement, how it affects my view on social studies. So personally, when I was in elementary school, social studies was my favorite subject. I love just like learning about history. I love the conversations it stirs up and kind of shows you like how we got to where we are, what we've learned from things, all of that. And after reading this article and kind of like I've said a few times already for my clinicals, I do think social studies has to be a lot of like, okay, this is what happened. Like, what do you think about it? How do you analyze this situation that happened or this event that happened in history? What can you learn from it? How would different people view it? In one of my reading endorsement classes last semester, we learned, I guess learned a strategy about reading documents from different perspectives. So, for example, we all had a picture from, I'm not going to call this correctly, but like the Little Rock riots where I believe it was 3 African-American students, came and it was segregating the school, the high school. So one group had to look at the photo from a political perspective, someone else as a historical perspective, someone from an economic perspective, things like that. So we all kind of analyzed the photo, did some further research for about only a quick 15 to 20 minutes, and then kind of reported back from that perspective. And I thought that was really cool, because not only is that a life skill, like we need to learn, in my opinion, this is totally personal, but I'm just going to say it anyway, people need to learn. A lot of arguments can be avoided between people if they just learn to look from it from different perspectives. So, for example, if I'm fighting with my brother, let's say, which happens quite often, if I'm able to step back and be like, okay, let me think about my brother and why he might be thinking or reacting the way he is. It doesn't mean that that's the right way to be reacting or that his belief or whatever it is we're fighting about is correct. It just allows me to see why he's thinking that and then approach the situation in a more mature way than as if I was just looking from my perspective and kind of had like those horse goggles on, So I think, long story short, I think that that's what social studies has to move to, is like, how can we take these skills to move forward? Not only to not repeat the bad parts of history that we don't want to per se, but I mean, it's just a life skill, like I said, looking at things from different perspectives, being able to take something and analyze it, we're preparing these kids for jobs that we don't even know exist yet, so they have to be able to have skills like that. And then the third thing is what my view on honor in relation to social studies is. So in the first video we were assigned to watch, it was that honor has the ability to recognize that every human deserves respect and dignity. And then it was said that too little honor is rude, and too much is flattering. And I just kind of think this has to go with like, now there's a lot of talk about diversity and cultures and things like that. And I know for me at least, like if I come across people that I'm not too familiar with, I might be overly nice to them, which might be come off as too much flattery. So like too much honor, I guess, only because I'm trying not to say something offensive or something like that, if that makes sense. And then also if I have too little honor, it may come across as rude, so kind of like ignorant. I feel like a lot of us are ignorant to like things we don't know, which I mean makes sense. We don't know it. So bringing it back, honor and social studies relate because we have to be able to look at things, like I said, from those different perspectives, but you can't look from those different perspectives if you don't at least begin to understand those different perspectives. Yeah, I really like talking about different perspectives, if you can't tell. So yeah, that's kind of what I think about social studies, at least as of right now, and then honor. So yeah.